Okay, Gemini. We're going to do your collective reading for mid-month February 2022. This is going to be a 5-card spread. I'm changing it up a little bit. I still plan on doing the single card reads for TikTok, and the minute 60-second platforms. But I feel like my YouTube subscribers need a little bit more, and I'm also on Rumble now. If you want to subscribe to me on there. It's a Canadian-based platform, but it basically kind of shares to other third parties. So for all you other people out here that's doing YouTube and doing other things, it's a good format to get on, or platform rather. All right, so Spirit, what do I need to know for Gemini, collective Gemini for February 2022 mid-month? What does Gemini need to know for February 2022 mid-month? What does Gemini need to know for February 2022 mid-month? What messages does Gemini need to know? Alright, they're flying out. Alright, so triumph and success. So, hopefully you can see this card because I was having a lighting issue with the last 2 videos. So, whatever you're doing right now, Gemini, whatever ideas you have, whatever's, coming to you, if you're having dreams, whatever, it's basically saying that keep doing it because it's going to be a success. You're going to triumph, you're going to go through it. But with this card too, this is also like the Ace of Swords. So in traditional tarot, that's what this card is. But so remember this, swords have double, not all swords, but this sword in particular has a double edge. So whatever you create, you want to be grateful for it, things like that, because it can cut you. You know what I'm saying? So it can cut through all the obstacles and challenges too. But if you're not careful and you don't wield it properly, then it can cut you. So be careful with what you're doing with your ideas. Just make sure that you have the best intentions. Don't let the fame go to your head. I know a few Geminis right now I've seen on platforms and things like that. They're all and I'm a Gemini myself. They're all starting something new. But just remember, to be grateful and to keep that energy high, because that's when manifestation and things like that. Because you're always creating. That's the secret that a lot of people, a lot of humans, a lot of unawakened people, or just people in general. They don't realize that we're always constantly creating, and that the greatest thing you could ever do is take responsibility. That's one of the greatest lessons you can learn, is take responsibility for all your creations, because you always play a part. If you're one of those Geminis that's always thinks it's someone else's fault and stuff like that, well, you need to take a deeper look at it. Geminis we're known as the geniuses of the zodiac. So sometimes we got useful knowledge, sometimes we just got trivial knowledge. But whatever you're doing is going to be great, basically is what I'm saying. And just make sure that you're not gossiping, you're not using that the power of your mind and your voice and things like that to do negative stuff, because it's going to cut you. So just make sure that you put good out there, and that's what's going to come back to you. Okay, what else do I need to know for Gemini, mid-month, February 2022? What are the messages for Gemini, mid-month, February 2022? What else do I need to know, Gemini? What else does Gemini need to know? What are the messages Gemini need to know at this time? Spirit. Alright, so that one flew out. So again, this card came out also for Taurus, but it's telling you, and it coincides with the triumph and the success. It's basically choose wisely. And I was actually getting this in a reading for myself too. So it's just basically saying that you need to make sure that you choose wisely, and make sure that you make choices that are based on wisdom. Like with me, for example, and because I'm a Gemini, I'm gonna give you an example of this. I'm doing this platform on YouTube and all these social media things. So, I gotta be careful not to offend certain people, and not that I'm not gonna speak my truth or be who I am authentically. It has nothing to do with that. It's just I've got to be careful, because success and fame and things like that brings haters. And you might want to put your shields up and block that. And that's why I also say if you're playing the negative part, you're the Gemini that's playing the dark part, and you're hating on people, if you're that type, which I know you're out there, because I know a few that do that too. You got to realize it's going to come back on you, and then it'll eventually, if you're hating on people, things like that, eventually it'll be your turn to be in the spotlight or whatever else. And when that happens, you're going to get cut, because you're using your, you're not you're not doing it with the best intentions, you know. And that's what it's all about. So make sure you choose wisely in everything you do. You know, look at, you know, like I told Tars, look at your past, and you know, how did certain choices alter your course? And you know, did you make them with wisdom? Did you make them impulsively? Did you, you know, put all your eggs in one basket and not, you know, realize that that may not work and that you need a backup plan? You know, think. Use that powerful mind. Use the, Mercury. Use that, and you know, Gemini's ruled by Mercury, so use the, you know, your Mercurial mind and your gifted speech and everything that you are, and use that and make wise, you know, decisions. What else does Gemini need to know at this time, Spirit? What else does Gemini need to know? What else does Gemini need to know? Cards flying out again. Moving on. So you might find yourself moving on from relationships or jobs that didn't work. With this, I feel like it's more people in your life that no longer, you no longer resonate with. People that just don't have your best interest at heart. You know, that you know, are smiling at you and act like they're rooting for you, but they, you know, it's something you got to be careful for. If you have people in your life that are, you know, they're overweight, they're, you know, they're not doing good, they seem to be stuck, you know, they're gossiping about people, they're, you know, always, you know, in drama, can't take responsibility for their actions. Be wary of those people, because they might be cool with you as long as you, you know, are basically on the same level as them. But once you move on or decide to, you know, move up or raise your vibration and, you know, switch timelines or change your frequency, you know, once all that happens, they may not, you know, be there for you, you know. So and there could be other situations. I feel like certain jobs in your life, certain, not just people, but certain jobs, and you know, you're thinking about moving on. And basically, when this card comes out, it's basically saying that you've already decided to move on. And I know that's also accurate, because again, I'm a Gemini, and moving on is something, you know, the full moon we just had, it's basically, it still affects us, but basically a full moon in Leo, it caused two people to be, you know, that I had to get rid of. And it's just, it's the way it is, you know. You can't, if people are not cheering you, if they're not supporting you, if they're not in your corner, you know, rah, 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 all that, then you got to get rid of them, because they, you know, you can sense it. You can tell if people care for you. They check on you. They, you know, want to support you. And those people in the past, they might have actually did that. They might have been the type of people that, you know, did all that and was right there in your corner and rooting for you. But, you know, people change, just like the weather, man, just like emotions, you know, everything changes. So what else does Gemini need to know? Mental conflict. So, you know, that's the thing Geminis tend to have a problem with sometimes, is that they, and this could be like, you know, it kind of tells a story. If you see this with this moving on here, you can see that there's mental conflict, like you don't know if you should move on, or you don't, you know if you should make that decision. But it's just like I said, you know, if it's causing, if you feel on a deep level, or if these people have showed you who you are, you know, don't try to repaint them, you know. Just trust what Spirit tells you, you know, ask God to show you, you know, if you, or whatever you believe in, you know, source, universe, it don't matter, you know. You can just be your own instincts, but trust what you get, because people will, you know, they'll show you, you know. I have to, you know, I remember there was somebody that, you know, I used to partner up with, and I remember telling them they made a business decision based on one of these, like where they paid so much money to try to help their business out, and I told them, you know, and did a reading on it, and I told them that it wasn't gonna be like they thought it was. And I've seen that, and they didn't want to, you know, admit that at the time. It was very expensive. It was something that they didn't need, you know. And later on, eventually, they ended up becoming haters, because they, you know, I jump in, you know, doing my YouTube channel, my business, and bam, there it goes. You know, it's because I know what I wanted, and I focused all my energy into, you know, one specific thing, and I made it happen. And then you go to these so-called, you know, experts and stuff like that, and sometimes it's just better to trust your own. I'm not saying that training and things like that don't help, but, you know, it's better to let life be your teacher. Life, you know, let life be your experience and learn from that. You know, and yes, training and courses and college and all that stuff is good too, but sometimes, man, life, all the lessons you need to learn is right there in front of your face, you know, or they're, you know, still to come. So if you're having a problem, just kind of, a lot of Geminis, I don't know a whole lot of Geminis that are very spiritual. I mean, me personally, I am, and I'm not saying that you're not. But if you got, mental conflict, you got to find a way to balance those hemispheres, right, left hemisphere. Otherwise, you're going to be in your head, arguing. And so that's the thing you also got to realize too, is that, if you've got something telling you that about those people, and and the other side of you saying, no, they wouldn't do that, man. Anything's possible. This is this universe is all about creation. So don't think people can't change like the wind, So what else does Gemini need to know at this time? Oh, and something else I'm getting to on that mental conflict, be careful where you scatter your energies, because, Gemini, we kind of like to have, our hand in a little bit of everything, but, it's determination, it's focusing those energies, and remember, wherever attention goes, your energy flows. So whatever you're paying attention to, you're paying for that experience. If it's people, places, things, if you're looking at your nails or whatever, and you're constantly admiring them, you're sending energy to that. You know what I'm saying? And that energy is your life force. And so basically, that's what you're doing. You're using your own life force to create everything in existence. I mean, if you don't believe that, look at people when you have a child. Did you not, co-create that with someone else? So it's just something to think about. So what else does Gemini need to know for mid-month February? What else does Gemini need to know for mid-month February? One last card spread. What else does Gemini need to know for mid-month February? One more card. What else does Gemini need to know for mid-month February? Well, so you got a bunch of cards. There's too many cards, Spirit. I'm not. So wisdom. So that kind of goes with what I was saying. That's the first card to pop out. The other two were kind of attached. I can go ahead and give those to you because, hopefully you can see them. But it's basically saying conflict and defeat. So, with this card, I feel like the triumph, you're going to overcome this just fine. I want to focus more on the wisdom. And then you got the rejoice and celebration. So if you use wisdom and logic with everything in your life, all the choices and things that you make, you'll overcome this conflict and defeat. And you might actually be feeling like this, or this could be a past energy of the conflict or defeat. But just know too, as you rise, you're going to attract this conflict. But you can't let it defeat you. You can pull yourself out of that energy. So just, be wise. And I went ahead and just, basically because those cards came out, I went ahead and gave them to you. But I hope the other signs won't get too offended about that. But anyway, Gemini, that's what I have for you for mid-month February 2022. If you need a personal reading or anything like that, everything will be in the description box below the video. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a blessed day.